What's up everyone, Anthony here, Empire Music, empiremusic.com. As I mentioned, showing off a brand new one from Fender. Really excited for this lineup because when I realized what some of the changes, upgrades, however you want to say it were, because obviously we get some of this information before we're able to share it with you guys, I was really excited because Fender hit the mark. They didn't miss anything with this launch. American Ultra 2, so second iteration of the American Ultra series in the precision bass today. PJ precision bass, so nice little added level of versatility. What I was playing at the intro there was just the P pickup because being the P bass, I figured we'll showcase that really where it should be. But some really interesting tones when we get the PJ and obviously just in the J position on it here. But the story is, well, there's new finishes, so let's talk about that. Noble blue with the black anodized guard is slick, especially with the ebony fretboard. So they were on rosewood. I could have this wrong, but I think the Elites were ebony, then they went to rosewood with the Ultras. Now they're back to ebony with the Ultra 2s, which is cool. Tonally, that's a different conversation. I don't want to say it's good or it's bad. It's definitely a little more, I think, similar to maple, so you don't have that variation from rosewood to maple. But I think that both ebony and maple pair better with this style of pickup and this style of electronics, at least in active mode, but we'll get into that. So back to ebony, I just think that looks really good. It's also available in the P bass. God, I hope I get these finishes right. They're just escaping my head. The new white finish is called Avalanche, and then it's Ultra Burst and Texas T. God, I think that's the ones in the precision bass. Not just the, hopefully I'm not confusing that with the jazz bass stuff. We'll put links in the description to all of our stuff on our Empire's website. And when we get other ones in with different, with the maple fretboards, we'll do some videos on that. So I'll correct myself then, I promise. If I don't forget to do that too, right, who knows. But spec-wise, man, like I just gotta give Fender props. I did it with the jazz bass. I'm gonna do it again with the P bass here. They really got it right with it's like they listened to players. And I'm not saying they've never done that, but they listened to the right people and made some nice additions to this lineup. Starting down at the bridge, and the things that they kept the right things. So they really kind of, I think, nailed it with this iteration of it. They kept the high mass bridge, awesome. But they kept top mount, which is cool, but they added, you can also bottom mount on it. Very good. I'm glad to see that. You weren't able to do that before. I prefer top mount, but it's nice to have the option for the players. Ultra 2 noiseless pickups. So I'll do an A-B video if I can, if we still have an Ultra in stock when I get a chance to do it. I'd be interested to hear what the voicing difference is between the pickups. I can't tell without A-Bing them, but they're saying they're Ultra 2 noiseless. They're still a really nice blend of modern and vintage. Again, it's a nice pairing with the preamp in that. I think that style of pickup plays well with the EQ sculpting you can do. And then also noiseless operation is great because when we solo that bridge pickup, there's no noise. Control layout. This is a little bit different here what Fender did, and I like what they did. It's going to be a recurring theme here is me liking what Fender did with this stuff. And you know, I'll call it out whenever I don't like something with Fender, even though we sell the stuff. Try to have a pretty upfront and unbiased opinion, try to put myself in the player's shoes, not necessarily the salesman's shoes. S1 switch is here on the volume knob. That flips between active and passive. Cool? And then this switch, there's still a switch here, switches between mid-range frequency boost. So you can boost 325 hertz or 750 hertz. That's a really nice addition. I think every active electronic bass should have that on it. It just allows further equalization, further kind of tonal personality to come out. So we are gonna dictate what frequencies this mid-range knob is boosting. I will say this, it's in a different position than on the jazz bass. Maybe now that I'm looking at it, I still wish that was right at the mid-range control, so it was right here. There's probably a reason why that doesn't make sense. That's well above my pay grade. But now looking at that, I kind of wish that this switch did marry right to this knob right there, but splitting hairs there, right? They did everything else right on it. So treble, bass, mid-range, passive tone, great to still have that, pickup panning, volume with the S1 switch. Note, these knobs are switched from the previous iteration. Just takes a second to get used to if you're going from Ultra to Ultra 2. Neck. Love what they did with the neck. So we got lumen lay inlays at the top. That means these things glow in the dark in low light situation. Like I said, ebony fretboard on it. That super satin finish. Rolled fretboard edges. Tusk nut. So we've gone from a bone nut to a tusk, Graphtec tusk nut. I like that actually because that is right in line with like the Ultra name. We're talking about a very modern take on it. That does have a tonal impact to it. That helps kind of brighten up that tone. It helps kind of add that upper mid-range punch, specifically when we start boosting 750 hertz down here. And then under the hood, so to speak, in the neck, I think is my favorite addition to this bass. Cannot overstate that. They put the Posiflex graphite reinforcement rods in this neck. That's what they still do and did initially on the American Pro 2s. I never understood why that wasn't on the American Ultra. That didn't make any sense to me that they wouldn't take a modern feature like that from the American Pro 2s and put it on that, next, qualitatively not the next tier, but feature-wise the next tier, the most modern thing. And it's quarter sawn maple. I could be corrected on this. I don't know that any production run guitar has been quarter sawn until now. It's just great to see that. So very stable neck between quarter sawn and with the graphite rods in it. It feels stable. It maintains well. And another thing that I really like, I almost forgot to mention, top adjust truss rod. Not down here. Even though they had access to it, you didn't have to take the neck off. I still just like the traditional truss rod access up here at the nut. I don't know, I just like it. 10 to 14 fretboard radius, modern D neck. So those are some similarities from the old Ultra series. Tonally, let's stick on just the P pickup here. Now, what I want to show, I have the active electronics in there. Oh, active electronics, for those that don't know, hopefully you do at this point, very briefly. We put the 2 batteries in there. 2 18-volt batteries. This bass comes in at right around 9 pounds, so it's not overly heavy. You do have the high mass bridge, the 2 batteries back there, chrome knobs, a lot of them too. 6 knobs essentially with the stack pots here. But everything wide open and with active electronics engaged. Check out the tone, right? I wanted to show you that there's really no gain jump between active and passive. I love that. So check it out. Active. Passive. There's like no tone difference there and no gain difference. I love that, right? Because that way, if you're on a gig and you are in active mode, even with something boosted, so we'll boost some bass, roll some treble back, we'll boost some mids, we'll get back to the regular position, the detents on everything. My battery dies. There's not a seismic difference there, even with things boosted. And then in middle position, you really don't have much tone difference at all. I actually really like that because that way, if you flip between the two, you don't have anything you don't have to go back to your amp for anything. I like that. And it gives you a really quick access to like a different tone. I'll still say this, Player Pluses, Ultras, Ultra 2s, Elites, whatever, those basses to me really excel tonally in active mode, right? I just prefer using them in active mode. So let's get everything back to middle position, which I already did. Cool, so just P pickup, right? Now, middle position on that. This is one of the more interesting tones. I've said this at every time I've done a PJ. It's not my favorite tone not in the mix. So right now it wouldn't be my favorite tone. In a mix, super underrated. You get the full band around you. You're getting all this kind of, you're really filling up all of the sonic spectrum that you can with this position. So check it out. It's gonna be bright, it's gonna be brash, and kind of brittle on its own. It like thins out that P-bass character a little bit, but it glides underneath of a mix, which is nice. But boosting that bass a little bit on there. It's one of the more sensitive settings on a bass you can have, because check it out, if you play quiet, super sensitive to how you attack, which is cool. We'll go back to the bridge pickup on that. And this is great because here you have like really the best part of the jazz bass sound. Now we're going to start hearing really where I'm going to boost mids, right? Boost them pretty high. Basically dimed mids right there. So we're going to really hear whether the tonality can come from, or how we can change the tonality between that little mid boost, the mid frequency selector switch here. So here's 350 hertz. So we're at like the upper end of, or at the kind of the, I guess kind of the lower side of the mid-range boost. And here's 750. Pretty brash, pretty bright there. We're really hitting the upper mids there. So again, now we're boosted totally, like boosting that, just to give the example of it really cutting through in a mix. If we cut that, so we're back to detent, let's boost those just a touch. I don't want to give percentages because we're going like past the middle position there. And we're going to boost the bass a little bit, and I'm going to roll treble back a notch. Let's check what that gives you kind of across the board too. So now we're back in P position, neck position. 750. Here's 325. I think my ears prefer it, the lower boost on that. And then middle position, so P and J, boosted at, we'll go back to 750. And then 325. Ooh, almost dropped the pick. That's 325, back to 750 with pick. And then bridge pickup. And then that's 750, 325. And then back to middle position, 325. Let's get everything back to kind of the center point here. Cool. So that's bridge. Let's go middle position again, P and J. And active to passive. Back to active. Again, very minimal dB boost on that. P pickup. Ah. And then J pickup. And So in keeping with the lineup, it's just an insanely versatile instrument. Gives you an awesome P bass character, awesome J bass character, and that middle hybrid position, which I can never really put my thumb on to think about like exactly what it's doing, but it's certainly an interesting kind of blend of P and J in an ultra comfortable package, a really good looking package. Again, kudos to Fender for nailing it on the specs, the additions. The things they changed, the things they didn't change, I think they really got it right. Back to Ebony, the graphite rod's in the neck's great, quarter saw's great, pickup or the control layout is really intuitive and nice. So again, I think high marks from Fender, high marks to Fender from me here at Empire Music. The phone number is 412-343-5299. If you need anything at all, please feel free to reach out. Free shipping, pro setup on everything that we ship out to you. My email address also is just anthony@empiremusic.com. Thanks for watching.